So this is a spring update. I do want to remind you who we are in the marketing communications team. Ag Communications is a big team that includes creative and our news writers, but there is a team that is specific to you guys, and these are the folks right here. Corey Ritter. I kind of the way we do it, I call them the pillars of what we do. And there's A&R, there's FCH. I kind of pull A&R apart because there's so much going on in there. So Corey handles everything that comes out of the earth, whether that be soil, crop, the bugs, and the water. We had a great strategist in place with Celeste. If y'all got a chance to meet her, she's gone to greener pastures. But she has put some really great processes in place, and we've got an amazing pool of candidates that we're excited to be interviewing this in the next few weeks. We also have Cynthia Castañeda, who serves our Healthy South Texas crowd. So I hope you see that we have someone for everybody. Rudy handles FCH and includes some of those, I don't want to call them miscellaneous programs, but some of those leadership and citizenship and passenger safety, those kinds of programs that don't quite fit into a box. He handles those as well, and he's on vacation today, but we're going to forgive him. Again, my name is Tamara Garza. My contact information is there. Please take note of that. But if there's anything you're going to remember from this slide, it's that TexAg link right there. tx.ag/extmarcom will land you on the extension employees page and on our marketing communications page. So when you're scratching your head on where to start on something, that would be a really, really good place to start. It's how you can get in contact with us, how you can submit a project request, and how you can unpack some of these tools that Dan was speaking to. So that's your team. We're here to help, and we really, we're always happy to help. So when I say this web hub update, that is one of the big things that we've been working on. I'm hoping that you've heard this term. I'm hoping that some of the language that we're using today sounds familiar, that it's not the first time you hear it when you hear the extension web hub or Livewell. So these are the things that we're going to kind of dig in today, what we've been doing in order to prepare for it, what you can do to prepare for it, why you should care, because we really want this to be helpful to you. We don't want this to be an added weight on you. We want this to be something that makes your job easier and creates some efficiencies for you in your day. So we're going to give you a sneak peek of the site, and we're going to dig into the Livewell and see how it works for everyone, and then tell you a little bit about a social media training that we're going to have in July, which is right around the corner, and how you can get tuned into that. So we've been very busy. I'm going to go pretty quickly through these because I want to sink my teeth into the technical on the Livewell part. But I say we've been very busy here, and there's some big numbers. We have been in the process of developing this web hub. It's not just a website, you guys. I want y'all to think of it as so much more than that. This web hub is bringing in a lot of information in the ways that the current site hasn't been able to do. And so that has required a lot of conversations back and forth. And whether or not you were involved in these conversations, please know that we have recruited the help all over the state, at the county level, the district level, of course, at the programmatic level, and vetted these things through leadership. But we have put out surveys. I say that first one, that we know it's the 250 out of 254 counties. We put surveys out to all counties to make sure we have the accurate information. We know what's going on in the counties. I will show you what that's going to look like. But that survey went out, and we got all of that information. Again, it's a lot. There's 250. This web hub is going to be such a fantastic reflection of what Extension does, and that we're going to have emphasis on that county, but all of those programs. And you guys, I put 506 there, but that's probably still a conservative estimate. on the programs that are going to be reflected in this site. So that's really exciting. We did put a 5/20 deadline on that. So if you were the recipient of one of those surveys that we were asking for information about programs, please know, just because you're past the deadline doesn't mean that we don't want it. We want that. We want that. So please turn that in just as soon as you can. And then 691, again, probably a conservative number, taxonomy. What does that mean? We throw that word around a lot. That is the backbone of what we're doing in order to make sure this is not just a pretty website. This is going to be a functional website. Everything is going to be tied to keywords. I call it the relativity of extension, and those keywords and that taxonomy and how we attribute counties and programs and disciplines and subject matter and solutions to this taxonomy is going to be what makes it really great. So that's what we've been doing. It's a lot, but we're real excited that we're getting to a point that we can start sharing this information with you. So I'm going to take a little break from my PowerPoint and give you this sneak peek. And why do we call it a hub? I'm going to use the term, I have a little metaphor for it. This hub is the great aggregator of all of our extension assets. So if y'all were in the crowd right now, I would be looking at each one of y'all and I would be saying, who has gotten frustrated looking for a publication that they know should be more easily found, but they had to dig for it, right? You know, who has had trouble finding someone's exact contact information? You know, it's finding the specialist that you need. The way our site has been built, a lot of static elements. So when things need to be dynamic, when we'd like to see things be dynamic, they haven't been. We're building that dynamic, up-to-date structure into the site. And so it's going to be aggregating news and events and topics and programs. It's going to be aggregating it in a really, really smart way. So the hub, it is not replacing. And so this is really important. It is not replacing anybody's site right now. So you might say, well, why is this so important then? Why is this such a big deal? I'm going to explain it this way. Courtney, Angela, Dan, leadership has used the term, this is going to be a front door to our assets. I like to think of it as this is connective tissue. We have been existing like as islands out there. Y'all's county sites have been existing as islands. So this site is going to bring it all together, that connective tissue in between our bones and our ligaments, right? It's going to bring all of our muscles together, the muscles of AgriLife Extension, in a really, really smart way. So I am, like I said, I'm going to break really quick to bring up some screenshots. So, all right. I don't have a dev site that I'm quite ready to be clicking through right now, but I feel like this is in a really good spot and representative of what it is that we've got going on. So this should be pretty exciting. And like I said, I don't want y'all to think of this as this is just a pretty wrapper or just a pretty update. It is so much more than that. You'll see here at the top, staff directory, contact us, find resource, site search. That kind of stuff seems pretty boilerplate, the functionality of that, but some of those things were not included in our past site, so we're happy to include that here. That top line navigation, news and events. This is going to be exciting. Programs and services, publications, extension topics, and county offices. This is top of mind. This is the high level pieces of content that we know people are looking for. And so we call it, in kind of the comms and journalistic world, above the fold. So at first to first open up this site, we know why people come to our site. It's to find someone to help them, or to find the answer to a problem, to find a solution. And so we put that question front and center. And you would be inclined to use it yourself. And so we're thinking about all of those Texans, but we're thinking about you guys too. And so what can we help you find? That search is going to be robust, and that's and and we're excited about that. So I won't dig into why a search is awesome, because I think we know that and we'll see that. Browse by topic. So these are the kind of some of the pillars, like I described, how we break out things when we know people are looking for answers. This is one way that we know that we can get them in a minimal number of clicks right to what we're going to call a topics page, which I'll show you in just a moment. We have lots of buckets and lots of modules that we'll be able to, I'm going to scroll through this part kind of quickly. That's Latin. Again, it's a placeholder for right now, because this is a bit of an outdated screen grab, but know that this is built on a WordPress framework that there's great modularity and flexibility built into it. We're going to be highlighting our extension programs, and these, again, can be swapped out easily, and we'll be looking at this in terms of seasonality and what's appropriate at different times of the year. When we know we've got big signature events going on, these things can get swapped out. This is going to be aggregating news. I usually, if I'm there in person, I like to say, how many people know that AgriLife Today, the AgriLife Today content, 80% of it is extension focused. I think that's awesome. That's awesome for you guys, right? And so this is going to be a place that can aggregate some high-level AgriLife Today news. And I want you guys to, while we're doing this, put your outreach and your newsletter caps on. This is a great spot to be able to grab headlines and drop it into your newsletters, you guys. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a bit. So that's kind of exciting that this is not replacing AgriLife Today, but this is going to be aggregating extension news, which is cool. Events. This doesn't look fancy right here, and don't mind the fact that someone doesn't know how to spell poultry, but this is a piece of the cog of our event calendar system. So this is events. We're going to be aggregating some high-level events on this front page, and I know you'll have some questions about this and why this would be important to you when you're having a face-to-face event in Bosque County. Of course, I'm sure you're thinking to yourself, well, you're not going to put my face-to-face event on the front page of the AgriLife Today, of the AgriLife Extension website, are you? We'll hold right there, because I've got an answer for you. So this is the homepage. This is kind of look and feel of the homepage. I think it'll be something that y'all can get excited about. It's new, it's slick, it's going to be very mobile first design, so we know how people are getting to us, and it's going to be from the user experience point of view, we're really looking to reduce the number of clicks that people need to get to find the stuff that they are looking for. So when someone taps in and they've got a question on, let's say, beef cattle, right? They click on animals and livestock. They're going to land on a page that looks like this. All right, these are the topics. This is everything that we do, essentially. So when they come and land on this page, there's a nice functionality to this page that as you have something like plants and crops, you could continue scrolling on some of these things. Natural resources, keep scrolling, but our title is always going to stay on the right-hand side, so you'll kind of know where you are. That's going to be a nice feature of it. But we've dug deep into the data, into the performance and the potential of what we know our topics are. And so this is part of our, what I'm calling that taxonomy. We've developed these categories, topics and subtopics. So most everything you're going to be able to find from this page right here, which will land you on, I'm just going to use the example for the sake of example. Let's say we're interested in beef cattle. We're going to land on a page that looks kind of like this. And so we're going to have, here we go. We're going to have just a little bit of introduction language. We're going to be able to populate it with some topics here. So this is where we have a little control over what's over what's seasonal, what's appropriate, what high level signature events we have going on. This is an opportunity for us to put it front and center. We know that we all of these topics have some connecting point, some dots connecting to our academic departments. So we want to make sure that we have a line there. Again, this is where someone lands on beef cattle, they can find all of the beef cattle news. So I want you to think about that. I had high level news on the homepage. Now we are aggregating, we're sinking our teeth a little bit deeper into this, and now this is aggregated beef news. This is kind of cool. Here's where we can, moving on, we can highlight some big programming here. I use the example of a signature event like beef cattle short course, but that you don't have to be running a beef cattle short course to have your program reflected here. And so I want y'all to get excited that we have opportunities to showcase our programs on these topic areas. This is, again, the next part here, learn more. This is the meat and potatoes, folks. This is so often what people are looking for. This is where they're going to find their fact sheets, and we're going to have all of those fact sheets available here. And so again, I'm kind of looking to you guys for y'all's newsletter and outreach hats. So this is something where you can just come to one stop. You have a one-stop shop to kind of cherry pick some good content. Because I know, you guys, I know that y'all struggle to find the stuff that you're looking for on our site. It's not because y'all don't know how to search for it. It's because the site wasn't made for that. So the site will be made for that now. This is where we're going to be aggregating all of your programs. And so you might be wondering, well, my program doesn't quite fit into any one topic area. To which I'm going to say that's where the taxonomy is really kind of beautiful, because we're building relative terms. You think of it like a word cloud or like a spider web map. We're creating the relativity, so you could just be related to meat or beef, and your programs will get aggregated here, which is really exciting because you will gain visibility in this framework. Courses from AgriLife Learn, moving on. Courses from AgriLife Learn, this is where we'll be aggregating these around the taxonomy as well. This is, I can't get over how exciting it is that there's going to be such specificity around this. And then this is where I'm going to talk about events and say, this is exciting because as you put together A&R events, as you put together FCH, HORT events, as you create your event programming and you submit to our Livewell system, and that's going to be really important. This only happens if you get them in our system. We can then put them in front of the eyes of, we can put them in front of the eyes of the people that are looking for related information. So I will talk a little bit more about that when we work through a Livewell event. And then have questions, we can help. This is a great, like I said, that connective tissue. This is great connecting dots to your county page, to specialists. And then we know that it's sometimes a pain point or rather a question mark when, let's say you're in Dallas or Houston or even small town Helotes, Texas, that the newspaper reaches out to you. You might know how to answer the question. You might want to be able to field that. They will, media relations, media inquiries, we can help with that here. So this is going to be a little bucket of information that we'll see on all pages, which will be helping you guys. Now, the most exciting part, and then this is where I see this as being something that will be helpful to you guys in the day-to-day to know that this is coming, is that there is going to be a county page for all 250 of our county offices, right? So this is exciting. With that same framework, with that same header, the about, news and events, program services, This solves a problem for you guys that I hear all the time, that AgriLife Extension is Texas's best kept secret. And we know why that is. It's because we've got amazing people out across the state doing amazing work with the people. It's that people to people contact, right? But how do we tell the bigger story of how this one county agent is part of a much bigger organization, um, much bigger picture? This county site is going to be fed in, and this is where we, like I said, we did our survey where we surveyed all of our counties to make sure we were getting accurate information. We're going to have accurate contact information. I'm going to say something right now, and then I'm going to go back to it, and then I'm going to repeat it like 3 more times after that. You might be wondering, but we have a county page already. Is this going to replace that? The answer is no. And can you see my face? Corey, give me a yes. You can see my face. I'm talking to everybody in the room. I want y'all to remember this. We are not taking away county websites. Nothing is getting taken away. So please don't freak out. Please don't get scared. Don't get nervous. Don't get anxious. This new county site is going to supplement. This is what we talked about, the front door to the site that you have. Okay, so please, if there's one thing that we remember, there's a few things I want you to remember from today's presentation, but one of them is that county websites are not going to go away. All right. Okay. Yes. So nothing is going away in the county websites as we have them right now. This site is going to be a supplement, and it's going to provide that connective tissue down to each one of our counties. Why it was important that we got that survey information from folks is that we want to know what kind of programming, how we can connect the dots to and from your site and from your county. So I'll give you the example that out in West Texas, pond management and aquaculture might not be like a big hot topic, right? But it may be in East Texas. So that kind of, when we see the diversity of what you guys do, your county page is going to reflect that. And so this is all just kind of placeholder information. But please know that the counties are going to, perhaps better than they have been doing in the past, reflecting the work of what y'all do in the county. Again, your local extension agents are available to help. This will connect folks. We know people are looking for answers to their problems and people that can help them. So this will get you in direct contact there. Front of the page, we're going to have 4-H because we know that's a big part of what y'all are doing in each of the counties. And this is just kind of placeholder to, reflective of we've got room to grow in this page on this site. And so the long-term plan is that you will grow into this page. But that's not anything that we need to like worry about and be anxious of right now. This is what I think is really, really exciting here. So I do this shtick and I kind of giggle at it, but we're getting ready for summer blockbuster season at the movies, right? So imagine a world where you fill out one form for your event and you have it reflected all over the state, all over the topics. You have it reflected in your topic area, you have it reflected in the program page, and you have it reflected on your county page. That's 3, but who knows how many topics are relevant to the programming that you're doing. So let's say homegrown lecture series, starting plants from seed, that's going to be horticulture, that might be entomology because of the bugs that come in your homegrown garden. That might be healthy living, and that might be nutrition. And so there's going to be a whole, our team is going to provide really maximum exposure for your events to be seen by many. And so I know at the end of the day, it's kind of, they say butts and seats, right? We are here to provide maximum exposure for you. And this is going to be one really powerful way to do that. And so this is something that I'm really, really excited about, but I want y'all to think about how it's going to require an opt-in on y'all's part in order to participate and make this a really strong platform. So I think you're starting to see that when I call this the great aggregator, all of these platforms, and I use the quotes on this because, like, who knows what a platform could be anything. It's kind of like marketing gobbledygook, doublespeak. But the platforms, that's social media, that's AgriLife Today, that's WordPress as this web hub, and its events. Those are the platforms that our team manages that help you do your job. And so we are bringing it together intentionally and thoughtfully, and in a way that I'm just going to say, I really hope it maximizes exposure for you guys in ways that y'all didn't have before. So, I could say, do we have questions right now? But what I'm actually going to do is just move us straight into the Livewell, because I think the real question is, what can you do now to make sure that you're ready for this? And did I mention a timeline? I bet I didn't. We were saying May, and so it's obviously not going to be May, where it's not launching like tomorrow, and we've got our holiday, right? It's looking like June, early summer, and so please be patient and know this, that we want to get it right. We don't want to be hasty on this, and we're wanting to ensure a successful launch. And so it's just taking a little bit more time because of the breadth and depth of all of the content that's coming in. And so what can you do now to be ready for this early summer launch? Livewell. Livewell is the answer, and I'm here to talk you all the way through it. Livewell is one of these platforms that we discuss coming together on the site. It can, could, should, would, it needs to be the first step after all of your plans are finalized. Once you know the who, what, when of what it is that you're doing, and you want to get this out and you want people to see it, you are going to submit a Livewell request. That is, this will get you straight into the request form, this short link here, tx.ag/requests. But I might actually, and I will show you how when you land on our MarCom page, you'll actually get a little bit more information and actually a little bit more help for it. But once you're good at it, you guys, you can just, bookmark that request page and boom, get it going. So what happens when you fill in that form? That form is fielded by my team's strategist, our extension marketing strategists, as well as our EPS, our friends in digital education. We're doing that strategically because as you're getting your plans in place, if you need registration information, if you're working through AgriLife to get a registration link, they can help you do that too. So there's some action on the back end that goes on, and some conversations between our two units to make sure that we're talking and taking care of it the way we need to. But let's say you don't need registration information, you still field it by us, and my team will take it from there, right? So that just describes how we handle it a little bit, and who's looking at it, right? This is actually a real good point to say. I kind of anticipate some questions on this, like another form. I don't need another form in my life. Why can't I just put it up on the calendar myself? Why can't I have access to do that? And I'm going to tell you right now that you don't want to have to do that, because that back end, that taxonomy is fixed. And our taxonomy has become like the Bible of our strategists. So we know the lay of the land. And like I said, in order to maximize exposure, and we're going to attach a keyword, many keywords to each one of your events, each one of those keywords are then going to feed your event into the right place, into multiple places. So it's because of that taxonomy that we really want to be on the back end helping you maximize the exposure. So I say it can in many ways serve as a digital flyer. For those of you that are in a habit of making a flyer and putting it on Facebook, making a flyer or tweeting it out, making a flyer and putting it on Instagram, this can save you some time, because what you do when you get your link, and I'll show it to you, is when you get that link, it'll pop in to social really slick and clean. And so I'll show you here right now, as a matter of fact, what it looks like when we do that. Now, so you might be asking, oh, I just filled in a Livewell request right now, but it's not doing anything special for me. Well, please know that right now it's not in that space where it can do that. This is going to be post hub launch. Then we can give it that visibility across the state. So, I mean, I say it right there. This is going to be a game changer for event exposure. But just know it will happen with the launch. Now, if anybody has been paying attention, and I love to think that everybody pays attention to everything that comes at you, when I know it's just wave upon wave of changes and new ways of doing things. A year ago, I sat in front of a similar audience and I talked to y'all about Livewell, but it was we were only serving big statewide events and or hybrid events, things that lots of people could tap into. That was because of the process. We didn't have a process, a developed process in place. We didn't have a good place for it to land, and now we do. So please know, we are accepting all events. This is face-to-face events. This is single county events, multi-county events. This really will. It'll be a game changer. So, and then here we go, Livewell. This is pictured above an agent thinking that they're going to have like all this extra time now that they're not doing flyers. And I say that, but I kid you guys. I know that y'all put up flyers at the feed store. I know you put up flyers at the church community event center. I know we can't get rid of that mechanism of outreach, but I think by way of our electronic means, this is going to be a very smart way to do that. I'm going to take a real quick break to now show you what this looks like. All right. When you hit, we can see my, there we go. Boop. tx.ag/ext MarCom. Here we go. That's the short link, and it will land you on, this page. I hope this, you guys can bookmark this, because this is really everything what we're pouring our tools and effort into. And this is where I say you're going to get a little bit of background information when you're starting to do your Livewells. And I say this, guys, there's so much hype about this, like it's hard, but it's not. It's not. But this is where you can go to submit your event to the Livewell calendar, right? This is a little bit of background information, what you need to know before you do it. And I think you read through this once and you'll have a very good understanding of how this works, and then you won't have to land here again. But I have just added something. If anybody has heard this presentation before, this is new. Do you need some inspiration on how to write this? We put together a press release style calendar submission template that you can download, and it gives you a really nice, I'm gonna pop it open right here. This is a press release style, and everything in here you can replace with your own information. This gives you a little bit of context, a little bit of language around what it is that you're doing, the who, what, when, training topics. Make sure you have contact information. Sometimes we've gotten that request often, like, but I want a press release. Our news team can still make a press release for AgriLife today, but sometimes y'all want to just be able to do it yourself. You don't have to, we don't have to be a bottleneck there. This also helps you create like the language around your calendar submission. So, so this is just information about what we need you to know, that if it's incomplete, we can't do it. We'll reach back out to you, right? We want to make sure that the images that you submit are are cleared to do that they belong to us, that we don't get in any kind of permissions trouble with that. If you have any issue needing to cancel event, always reach out to your strategist. But here we go. Submit your event to the Livewell calendar, right? This is as hard as it is, guys. This is going to be big build up, and you're going to realize this is so not hard. I'm going to fill out a form for you right here today and say that we're going to have an event this Friday. This is my name, Testy Testerson. Here's my email address. I'm, of course, going to use an ag email address. 713, that's me. Extension. I know it might be tempting to hit AgriLife, but we really want you guys to hit extension. Is this related to a coordinated program area? Perhaps, but maybe not. What is the nature of your request? All right. When you click event registration and Livewell calendar setup, this is going to open up some more questions. And this is as easy as tiptoeing through the tulips. This is going to be a test event. How will this event be hosted? All right, we're going to call it an in-person event. We're just going to drop in our information. If you couldn't tell already, that was my second reference to Helotes, Texas. That's my hometown in Bexar County. The date of the event, here we go. Oh, this first one was actually, forgive me, today's date. Boom. All right. Event end date, that's going to be a Friday night. And let's going to say we're going to tiptoe through the tulips right around dusk. This will be the best event ever. And I can't spell when y'all are watching me. But this is where you would use that language from that template that you can use here. Now, whatever language we have, we're accepting everything. We're very accepting of the language that you have around your event. And again, this is another reason why we want it fielded through our team, so that way maybe we can help you out with that a little bit. Do you need registration? This is what flags digital education. And so if you hit yes, have someone reach out to me. Casey Matsky in Digital Ed is going to reach out and send you a questionnaire about what you'll need for the actual registration. How should this open and close? And we're just going to say, here we go. Will there be sponsor? These are just the questions that you would know. These aren't hard. And then I'm going to, let's see, pond management flyer. Yeah, here we go. That looks like a good one. So if you do already have a flyer, upload it there for us. That can be super helpful. It also gives us more context for what it is that you're doing. And then please select the appropriate calendar. We're going to say extension, multi-county, single county. This is great if it's multi-county, you guys. We're trying to be just real smart here. We're going to see Bexar County, Brazos County, Bosque. Good old Brent Batchelor always likes to, I like to give him a hard time because I don't even know anybody in Bosque County, but I always use them as an example. The content, let's see, where does it fit? Something in here. Let's see, let's see, Ag and Natural Resources. Do you have a website? And you might want to be putting in some keywords, but remember, these are things that we're going to be handling on our side too. But if you have some keywords as well, you hit submit. It gets fielded to our team. You might even see that I'm going to get a little notification on my side window here that I'm going to receive it on the back side. So you should expect a response from us within 7 business days. I hope it'll be well in advance of 7 days. And then, yeah, if you've got multiple events here, you just go through that process again. It might feel long, but really it accounts for all of the details. And like I said, that should be something that's easy enough for you guys to do and have it land in so many places. I think now is a really good time to kind of turn it over and say, do we have questions from the crowd?
Yeah. I have an automated event notification email that goes out via MailChimp. Does the Livewell taxonomy allow for these types of RSS type feeds?
Ooh, that's a very good question. And whoever this is, and I'm going to make note of it, I'm applauding them for having some efficiencies built in there. I want to know a little bit more. Say it again. It's they already have an RSS that goes out with their events that they have.
Yes, on MailChimp.
On MailChimp. I'd say let's talk about that, because that's how we can connect another piece of outreach, one of y'all's platforms, distribution platforms, outreach platforms, and make that work. So I want to be back in touch with that person, because that seems like a very smart way of doing things as we're building out our feeds, that it can feed into theirs. So yeah.
Okay, about the new website, if you're not taking away the county web pages, are you at least standardizing the templates?
That is a phase 2 conversation. So this is a good opportunity for us to talk about what we want to do, what the end game is. You guys, I'm not going to be anything but transparent in this, okay? And so do you want to know what? I'm actually just going to go back to, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to talk full screen. The end game is to have us adopt these county sites, but that is much later down the road. And I'm not saying that's December. I'm not saying that's next year. So the idea, so the question was, okay, let's see. I want to make sure that I'm answering it. Ooh, we have lots of questions.
It's towards the top, Tamara.
It's towards the top. If you're not, is standardizing the templates. That is a good question. That is probably in the works, but we're not going to be porting a lot of energy into those old templates, because the end game really will be to get adoption into the new one. And so for anybody that's freaking out that says, I have so much in those old websites, there will be a process for that, and we don't have to I'm going to say it this way. Those old websites are not built on an appropriate framework for how the modern web works. And so rather than fixing that, we're going to just adopt and migrate content into our newer platform. But again, it's not going to be something that's going to be happening anytime soon. There is a standard template across all of our county sites, and it's going to be on a case-by-case basis on how and when this happens, because I can say this, like, again, like looking y'all in the eyes. We've got some counties that we have data to back up have not touched their website in 8 years, right? Meanwhile, we have other counties that have poured a lot of time, effort, and energy into it. And so we cannot treat those the same. We know that rural counties have very different needs than urban counties. And so that'll just be a phase 2 conversation on how we address that and how we adopt those bring them into the fold. But we needed to start somewhere, and we're wanting to get a clean slate with the hub. So I hope that answers the question enough.
Are you taking away department extension websites?
Department extension websites are not going away. Again, I want y'all to see this as like added value. Department sites are going through an overhaul right now, and it's one department at a time. There's several of them that are in the works right now, but those launches will be staggered over the next year or so. And so there is definite connectivity between how extension is shown and showcased in the department side, and then how it weaves into our site. So all of us have been talking together. So I think the worst thing that can happen with having those two projects run concurrently is that they're not talking. But in this case, we are definitely talking. And this is why that taxonomy is really important, is that we'll be able to weave that not just out. We start with extension because we're the biggest, baddest beast of them all. But when we get it right here, we can translate that into the other pieces of our digital environment in AgriLife. So it's gonna get better, you guys. It's gonna get better.
And then there's one more I see, and it's about how we can use it for social. And Tamara, if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and answer that one.
Yes.
When you get the calendar post, you can either share that link. We'll send you a short link that you can share as well. It goes to the same place. And what will happen is that it will preview as if you shared an article link or any link from the web, and it will pull in a featured image. It looks very clean, very nice. On Facebook, we use them occasionally to fill our content calendar. They do really well. And it's just an easy and clean way to get people the information about your events.
I can actually, I can share real quick about what that looks like, and I'm not sharing, but I will share. Here we go. Corey, can you see my screen?
Yes.
You're so good. All right. So here, let's take this 5th annual Central Texas Vines and Wines. This looks like a great calendar. This looks like a great calendar event. This is what we're talking about, guys. It's going to have your location in there, easy to get to, all of the information you need, the time, the RSVP, or if, say, we get that registration link from Digital Ed, we can have all of that information here. So check this out. Check how easy this is. So yeah, for my personal feed, look, it comes in, it's already branded, calendar.tamu.edu, 5th annual. So all you have to do is say, join us for this great event next week. And just a little intro language, and then that's one click to get to the event and all of the information that they need. So again, it looks so much nicer. It's easy. It's in terms of ADA, it is accessible to our audience. It's really clean, really clean. More questions? I realize we're already at 2:22.
One last question. What happens to these once the event is over?
It gets archived. It continues to stay in the calendar. And so you can revisit it. That link will still be alive. That's a good question. I haven't got that question asked yet. But yeah, so it'll still be there. So think about it for you folks that have been around. Y'all can continue to use this information over and over again. You don't have to recreate the wheel. You'll have something that you can go back to. I'm going to... yeah.
One more as you do that, Tamara. Another question that came in is SEO work done on these Livewell pages to make sure that we rank on first page. I do a lot on my end to make sure that happens. Cheryl, you're a champ. You're saying all the right words, and I love it.
Yes, you're speaking our language. Yes. The answer is yes, and that's where the hub really that actually brings me back to my last few slides and how we can wrap this up. That when I say that our team is working on, the digital platforms, that's what we do. We manage digital platforms. You guys, I say it in that funny voice because it makes me laugh. Livewell, AgriLife Today, the hub, social media, we want them all coming together, and SEO is definitely a part of what we've been building into WordPress. So we have our experts working on that. And so Livewell, the way Livewell works and the way our WordPress works, they will all be strengthening each other in terms of SEO. My last couple slides here are just news we're sharing. This is a couple weeks old from when I started this. Just a reminder that all of these things come together, and I want y'all to recognize that what we and our team are trying to do. We've got our news team, we've got our marketing strategist, all these platforms coming together. we know that this is like Livewell and the web is just part of it. You guys and your outreach and what you're doing with your newsletters is amazing. And we want you to share the content that we're creating. I say again, like the 80% of content that AgriLife Today is putting out is extension centric. And while I know you aren't like opening up your laptop at 8 o'clock every morning, getting your coffee and reading AgriLife Today, y'all should hit it up and know that the articles that we're writing, in this case, it's tick research. I mean, that's your A&R crowd, cattle fever, your A&R folks are going to be interested in that. Gardening and mental health. We're writing stories to hit our audiences where they are. And so that could easily be an FCH or a Hort A&R kind of crowd. Why are my tomato leaves curling? That's every gosh darn homeowner Texan right now who's growing tomatoes. They're wondering why their tomato leaves are curling. So we have content that we want you guys to share, and to scrape our headlines and pull those links off of AgriLife Today is not cheating. That's called amplification in our land. And so I give you the example here. We've got Houston Chronicle, My San Antonio, Drovers. If this content is good enough for them, it should be good enough for your outreach and your newsletters. And so and your social media content. So I don't want y'all to be afraid of using our stuff. Please, please do. And then lastly, like, this is all very exciting. I want y'all to know how long we've been waiting to be able to share this with you guys. That in July, we've got 3 weeks in July. We're going to do it on a Wednesday. Summer social hour. It's going to be a 3-part series. You can see here what we're talking about, but any and all of you that are doing social media, and it's a lot. I mean, and whether that's A&R, whether that's FCH, whether that's your support staff, whether that's an assistant, 4-H, we know that everybody could use a little help there, and that we've got a lot of new people on board. And I've heard it often. They're like, well, our county has a social media, but so-and-so left and didn't hand over the keys, or so-and-so retired and we don't know how to really take it. It's got their personal face on the profile. We don't know how to fix that. We're going to be able to walk you through that, do some troubleshooting in July 13th, have question and answers, bring people in, have a good conversation about that. July 20th, building community around content. I think this is going to be a really great conversation. We'll bring some case studies in. We know that y'all are all so different. So urban and rural challenges, FCH and A&R crowds, 4-H. There's going to be different strategies for different audiences. And again, how we can do that best, give y'all some guidance and some best practices, excuse me. And then lastly, the July 27th is really digging in, looking at analytics. What are those hashtags doing? Why are they important to me? Why is that a thing? We'll answer those questions, as well as help you see what you need to be looking for to optimize your content. And then lastly, we're like right at a few minutes. Make sure you hit us up on that EXT, our short link, texag.ext MarCom, because we still have our photo shelter. We're going to have a lot more images there that we're unloading this summer, more Canva templates. Again, I just spoke to you in depth about our calendar. And so be excited, use our stuff. It's there for y'all. It really is. It's there for you guys. And then if you needed that short link one more time, please bookmark it, know who to reach, and know that we are here to help.
Tamara, and then we have two.
Two more questions?
Yes.
All right.
What websites will be included in this new hub, FCH pages, Aggie Horticulture, bookstore?
So there will be no the bookstore has been updated. We call that AgriLife Learn. What were the other questions? It was
FCH pages, Aggie Horticulture, like those programmatic pages.
It's a good question, because we know Aggie Hort is huge. Like I said, we had to start somewhere and bringing it all together in one spot, because we've all been living on islands. So we have to start here. We have to bring them together now, and then once we have that map, of where everything is and how we can get people there, we can be strategic on how we prioritize those programmatic pages. So I get it where someone might argue and say like, well, this is a whole lot of nothing. It just gets people to an ugly, it still gets people to an ugly page, but it got them there, you know, to which I'll reply, it got them there and it may not have gotten them there before. And so we will have to prioritize and do that strategically. We will have themes. We will be rolling out some templates over time, but that'll be definitely a second phase project. So.
And then one more, is the hub for the public or for agents, employees?
Oh my gosh, the hub is for everyone. The hub is for Texans. The hub is for everyone, and I hope to good golly that you will see how this will make your job better. When you can find things, that will improve your day. I'd like to think. But this is gonna be replacing agrilifeextension.tamu.edu. So that will be gone, and we have mapped all of that out and redrafted that for the hub. The hub will be new, a very new landscape for us.
And then the second part of that question is if both anything in place so public doesn't get our curriculum. I'm assuming that's asking about an internal website.
Okay, so I don't want to speak to there is an intranet in development and in talks right now, but we're still a good ways away from that. So I'm hearing what they're saying, and I'm trying to interpret a little bit exactly what that is. Now, if y'all have pages where you have password protected stuff, if you have pages where things are on the backside, we're not moving any of that. Again, I'll say it over and over and over again. We're not changing any of that. We're not taking anything away. We are adding the connective tissue. So anything that you have that's behind a page, any of those curriculums, they're still there. We're not moving any of that. I'm going to hope that this landed well with you guys. We know that it's a lot. It might be overwhelming. Maybe you can revisit this. Share this Tech Tuesday with some of your office buddies, or I hope that you share it with them and say like, hey, I actually know what's going on now when it comes to that. Please share it. Let them know this is not proprietary information. We really want everybody to know and be excited about this. And so please know that we're working for you guys, and we're happy to help and answer any questions.